It's a familiar and comforting scene, isn't it? You open the refrigerator, and there it is. That wonderful meal from last night. The savory chicken, the fluffy rice, the hearty soup. A delicious, ready-made lunch or dinner that saves you time and effort. Reheating leftovers is a ritual baked into the very fabric of our lives, a symbol of thriftiness and good sense. But what if I told you that this simple, everyday act, something we do without a second thought, could, in some cases, be quietly working against your health? We're not talking about food that's obviously spoiled. We're talking about good food, lovingly prepared. But behind the scenes, in the very biology of certain ingredients, a hidden process can take place. A process that can turn a nourishing meal into a source of digestive distress, fatigue, and even illness. And when you're managing your energy, protecting your independence, and wanting to feel your best every single day, the last thing you need is to be sidelined by an avoidable stomach issue. Feeling unwell for a day or two isn't just an inconvenience. It can mean a missed walk with a friend, a canceled visit with the grandkids, or feeling just a little less steady and confident on your feet. Today, we are going to pull back the curtain on this kitchen habit. We're not here to create fear or to tell you to waste food. Absolutely not. We are here to empower you with knowledge. We're going to talk about 4 very common foods that you should be extremely careful about reheating. We'll explore the simple science behind why they can become problematic, and I'll give you clear, easy steps to handle them safely so you can continue to enjoy your meals with complete peace of mind, knowing you are actively protecting your body. This is the kind of practical wisdom that helps us stay in control of our health. If you believe that understanding how your body works is the key to living well, I invite you to subscribe and become part of our community. And I'd love to connect with you. In the comments below, please share, what's the one daily activity you wish felt just a little bit easier? Let's support each other. Let's begin with one of the most common staples on the planet, rice. Whether it's white, brown, basmati, or jasmine, rice is the foundation of countless meals. It's affordable, versatile, and filling, but it holds a very specific secret, one that has everything to do with how it's treated after it's been cooked. The issue with rice centers around a remarkably resilient type of bacteria called Bacillus cereus. This bacterium is found in soil and is naturally present on raw, uncooked rice. Now, your cooking process, boiling or steaming the rice, does a great job of killing the active bacteria. But here's the crucial part. Bacillus cereus has a defense mechanism. It can form spores, which are like tiny, armored seeds. These spores are incredibly tough and are resistant to heat. They can easily survive the cooking process. When you leave cooked rice to sit at room temperature, you're creating the perfect environment for these spores to awaken. As the rice cools down slowly on the countertop, the spores germinate, turning back into active, multiplying bacteria. As these bacteria grow, they produce toxins. One type of toxin, in particular, is extremely heat stable. This means that when you reheat the rice the next day, even to a very high temperature, you might kill the new bacteria, but you will not destroy the toxins that they have already created. It is these preformed toxins that can cause vomiting, diarrhea, and abdominal cramps, typically within 1 to 5 hours of eating. It's a very unpleasant experience that can leave you feeling weak and dehydrated. Imagine this scenario. You've made a wonderful chicken curry with a big pot of fluffy rice. After dinner, you cover the pot and leave it on the stove to cool, intending to put it away later. A couple of hours pass, you get busy, and then you finally transfer it to the refrigerator before bed. The next day for lunch, you scoop some out and microwave it until it's steaming hot, thinking you've done everything right. But later that afternoon, you start to feel that queasy, unsettling feeling in your stomach. It wasn't the curry. It was the rice. Those few hours it sat in the danger zone, between 40 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit, were all the time the spores needed to activate and release their toxins. The solution is wonderfully simple and is all about speed. The goal is to cool the rice down and get it out of the danger zone as quickly as possible, ideally within 1 hour of cooking. Instead of leaving it in a big pot, spread the leftover rice out in a shallow layer on a baking sheet or in a shallow container. This increases the surface area and allows it to cool rapidly. Once it's no longer steaming, put it directly into the fridge. Store it in a covered container for no more than 1 day. And when you do reheat it, make sure it is piping hot all the way through. And critically, only reheat it once. This small change in your routine completely neutralizes the risk and ensures your rice is just as safe and delicious the second time around. Next, let's turn our attention to something we are all encouraged to eat more of: leafy greens, with spinach being the poster child for healthy eating. We blend it into smoothies, toss it in salads, and wilt it into soups and stews. It's packed with iron, vitamins, and antioxidants. But its greatest strength, its nutritional density, also holds a chemical quirk that we need to be aware of when it comes to reheating. Spinach, along with other vegetables like celery, beets, carrots, and even lettuce, is naturally very high in compounds called nitrates. Nitrates are absorbed from the soil as the plant grows, and in and of themselves, they are completely harmless. Our bodies handle them just fine. The potential problem arises when you cook spinach and then reheat it later. The heat, combined with the presence of certain naturally occurring microorganisms, can trigger a chemical conversion. The harmless nitrates can be converted into nitrites, and nitrites are a different story. In the human body, high levels of nitrites can have a few concerning effects. First, they can interfere with the blood's ability to carry oxygen, a condition known as methemoglobinemia. While this is a more significant risk for infants, for older adults who may already be managing circulatory or respiratory conditions, any impairment of oxygen transport is something to be avoided. Secondly, nitrites can react with other compounds in the stomach to form nitrosamines, which are known to be potentially carcinogenic over long-term exposure. Think about a big, beautiful pot of lentil and spinach soup. It's the very picture of health. You enjoy a warm bowl for dinner, feeling good about your choice. You store the rest in the fridge. The next day, you pour a portion into a saucepan and heat it up for lunch. While the chance of a single serving causing a major issue is low, it's the principle of cumulative risk we need to consider. Why introduce even a small, unnecessary challenge to our body systems? For someone who already works a little harder to catch their breath after climbing a flight of stairs, or whose circulation isn't what it used to be, ensuring optimal oxygen flow is paramount. It's about making choices that support our body's natural strength, not subtly undermine it. The goal is to feel energized and clear-headed, not unknowingly consuming compounds that could work against that. So, what is the best practice here? It's wonderfully straightforward. It's best to enjoy spinach and other high-nitrate vegetables when they are freshly cooked. If you make a large batch of soup, stew, or a casserole containing these ingredients, there are two excellent options. The first is to cool it down quickly and, when you're ready for leftovers, only heat the exact portion you intend to eat right then and there. Avoid reheating the entire pot over and over. An even better option, especially for something like a spinach soup, is to enjoy the leftovers cold. A chilled vegetable soup on a warm day can be incredibly refreshing. Or, simply add fresh spinach to your dish right at the very end of cooking, just enough to wilt it, rather than cooking it for a long period. This minimizes the initial nitrate concentration and gives you all the benefits without the reheating risk. Now, let's talk about the king of lean protein, chicken. A roasted chicken on a Sunday can be the gift that keeps on giving, providing protein for salads, sandwiches, and quick meals throughout the week. It's a cornerstone of a healthy diet for many of us. But reheating chicken, particularly poultry, requires a bit more care than other foods, not because of a pre-existing toxin, but because of its physical structure and its susceptibility to common foodborne bacteria like Salmonella and Campylobacter. These are names we've all heard, and they are responsible for some of the most common and debilitating cases of food poisoning, which can be especially serious for older adults. The challenge with chicken lies in its dense protein structure. Think about a chicken breast or a thigh. It's thick. When you try to reheat it, especially in a microwave which is known for heating unevenly, it's very difficult to ensure that the heat penetrates all the way to the very center of the meat. A microwave bombards food with energy waves, creating hot spots and leaving other areas relatively cool. These cool pockets are a perfect sanctuary for any surviving bacteria. So, while the outside of the chicken might be sizzling hot, the inside could still be at a temperature that allows bacteria to thrive. You might think it's hot enough, but it isn't safe enough. Furthermore, there's another subtle change that happens. The protein composition of chicken changes each time it is cooled and heated. When you reheat it, these protein chains are broken down differently than they were during the initial cooking. For some people, particularly as our digestive systems become a bit more sensitive with age, this altered protein structure can be harder to digest, leading to bloating, gas, and general discomfort, even if no harmful bacteria are present. It's that feeling of a meal just sitting heavy in your stomach. Let's paint a picture. You're in a hurry and you grab a leftover chicken leg from the refrigerator. You place it on a plate, cover it, and put it in the microwave for 90 seconds. You take it out, touch the top, and it feels hot. But if you were to cut into it right next to the bone, you might find the meat there is only lukewarm. That lukewarm zone is precisely where bacteria, if present, can survive the reheating process and then multiply as the food cools again on your plate. We're asking for trouble. It's a risk that is so easy to avoid. Protecting our gut health is central to our overall well-being, influencing everything from our immune system to our mood. A bout of digestive illness can throw that delicate system completely out of balance. The key to safely reheating chicken is one word: thoroughness. The safest methods are those that provide even, consistent heat. Your oven or a toaster oven is an excellent choice. Place the chicken in an oven-safe dish, perhaps with a splash of broth or water to keep it moist, and heat it at a moderate temperature, around 350 degrees Fahrenheit, until it is hot all the way through. A skillet on the stovetop also works well, especially for smaller pieces. If you must use a microwave, take extra precautions. Cut the chicken into smaller, uniform pieces and arrange them in a single layer with space between them. Heat it, then stop, stir the pieces around or rotate the plate, and continue heating until every single piece is steaming. For true peace of mind, a food thermometer is your best friend. Chicken should be reheated to an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit or 74 degrees Celsius. And, following the golden rule of leftovers, only reheat it once. Finally, we arrive at the ultimate comfort food, the potato. Baked, mashed, roasted, or fried, potatoes are a source of satisfaction and nourishment in so many cultures. It's hard to imagine a food that feels more fundamentally safe and wholesome. Yet, a cooked potato, if handled improperly, can harbor the risk of one of the most serious forms of food poisoning, botulism. The culprit is a bacterium called Clostridium botulinum. Its spores are widespread in the environment, including in soil, and can easily be present on the skin of a potato. These spores themselves are harmless. The problem begins when they find the right conditions to grow and produce their toxin, which is one of the most potent neurotoxins known to science. What are those perfect conditions? Clostridium botulinum thrives in a warm, moist, low-oxygen environment. Now, think about how many of us bake potatoes. We wash them, maybe rub them with a little oil, and then wrap them tightly in aluminum foil. The foil does a wonderful job of trapping steam, resulting in a fluffy, tender potato. But it also creates a perfect, oxygen-free environment around the potato skin. The baking process kills the active bacteria, but just like with rice, the spores can survive. If you then take that foil-wrapped potato out of the oven and leave it on the counter to cool for several hours, you have created a perfect incubator. It's warm, it's moist, and it's oxygen-free. The spores can germinate and begin producing the deadly botulism toxin. The most frightening part is that reheating will not save you. The botulism toxin is heat-stable, meaning that warming the potato up in the microwave or oven the next day will do nothing to neutralize the danger. The toxin is colorless, odorless, and tasteless. You would have no way of knowing it's there. While botulism from potatoes is rare, the consequences are so severe, it attacks the nervous system and can cause paralysis, that it's a risk that must be taken with absolute seriousness. Consider this common habit. You've hosted a small dinner party and served baked potatoes. There are a couple left over, still in their foil jackets. You leave them on the kitchen counter to deal with in the morning. They sit there overnight before you place them in the fridge. The next day, you decide to make a quick lunch and reheat one of them. That period the potato spent cooling slowly in its anaerobic foil wrapper was the window of opportunity for danger to brew. It's a simple oversight born from a common practice, but it's one we can easily correct. The solution is incredibly simple and effective. It's all about oxygen and temperature. After you bake your potatoes, make it a priority to remove them from the aluminum foil as they cool. This single step reintroduces oxygen to the surface of the potato and immediately removes one of the key conditions botulism spores need to grow. Then, just like with rice, don't let them sit out. They should be refrigerated promptly. Store them in the fridge and plan to eat them within a couple of days. This simple two-step process, remove the foil and refrigerate quickly, completely eliminates this specific risk and allows you to continue enjoying this wonderful food with confidence. So, as we bring our conversation to a close, let's remember the core message here. This isn't about being afraid of your own kitchen or being wasteful with food. It is the exact opposite. It is about understanding the why behind food safety, so you can be confident and in control. This knowledge transforms you from someone who simply follows rules to someone who truly understands how to work with food to protect your vitality. Cooling rice quickly, eating spinach leftovers cold, heating chicken thoroughly, and removing the foil from potatoes. These aren't burdens. They are simple, powerful acts of self-care. They are small adjustments in our daily routine that pay huge dividends in how we feel, preserving our energy and our precious independence. If this video has armed you with new information to help you and your loved ones stay healthy, please show your support by giving it a like and consider sharing it with a friend who might benefit. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. We're building a community dedicated to sharing clear, science-backed wisdom for living a vibrant and healthy life. Thank you so much for your time and attention today. Stay well, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.